Happy Hump Day, Ron H.
Good morning, Randall, Dow. The Chinese wouldn't let me in this morning.
Well, we got you in there, which is a good a lot of people don't know. You should reboot, not you, but as a subject, people should reboot their phone once a day. It will take care of a lot of the slowdown problems, the freezing problems. They just leave it
The
on 20,
hacking.
they leave it on 24/7.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you, I got a hold of my
Also,
allergies.
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, boy.
They upgraded my son's English grade.
What about your son's what?
They upgraded my son's English grade.
To
He
what?
passed the he passed the one, and then he had a second English he was taking. So they upgraded it to satisfactory. So apparently he passed both of them. Now we're just waiting on his biology,
So what is
and
there?
he should do good because he likes biology and he was doing good. So
Two English classes?
yeah, I don't understand how that works,
Well,
but
probably one is just to talk, and the second one I'm thinking if you're going to land a movie role like in Robin Hood, you want to be able to speak with an English accent.
right, right, right. Unlike other Robin Hoods,
And having
unlike other Robin Hoods, I can talk with an English accent.
that's where I was going with that. Well, let's give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and today's
Yes,
verse of the day is Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.
yes.
I'm guessing meek is like oh, they're teachable. See, I never knew that.
What's that?
Blessed are the teachable. People that like accept being taught the word of God.
Well,
Yeah,
they're also they don't mind being corrected either.
Yeah,
They're teachable.
they don't mind being corrected. That is a good one.
right. The
I don't know where I know
the
I don't think we
the
fall in that
humble,
category.
the humble, not these,
Are
not
are we
these
meek? Are we meek,
arrogant.
Ron?
By faith, yes.
Are we meek?
Oh,
I'm pretty hard headed.
I'm not hard headed. I mean, I'm set my ways a little bit, yeah, but
If your ways are spreading the word of
yeah,
God, it's a good thing.
if someone's got a better idea on how to do something, I'm all ears.
Well, which that's all the time, right?
What? No, 99% I'm right.
There you, see, there's the Ron I'm looking for.
I mean, I am fairly intelligent, but you know, if someone's got a better idea, okay, we could try it. I
Hey,
mean,
well, hey, well, there's breaking news today. The prosecutors rested their case against Sean Diddy Combs.
really.
Yeah, after 29 days. He's charged, he pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
So, in other words, being a scumbag.
Yeah. Wonder if he'll write a song for this one.
Well, I'm sure he will. So the defense rest,
No, no. So no, the prosecutors rested. So I guess it's the
the
defense turn now, right?
prosecutor. Oh yeah. So now, yeah, I guess now yeah, now the defense has to come up with.
No, well, they got to prove their charges now.
Well, now they got to come up with their freaking story and
Or
lie.
actually, does the yeah, the prosecutors go first, and then the defense attorneys they defend all the charges and everything that the prosecutors. I think I'm not
Right.
100% sure, but it makes sense. It should be that way.
Well, yeah, now they gotta prove that the prosecutor's wrong for indicting.
So the defense is going to be like, so defense, they're accusing your guy of racketeering conspiracy. He didn't do that.
No, he didn't do that. No, he was out of the country at the time.
That was someone else that looked like him. That wasn't him.
That was his stunt double in
His
Hollywood.
his
He was
stunt double.
he was in Canada at the time.
He was in Canada plagiarizing a song, so we have
He,
proof.
he was plagiarizing and he was watching Toronto Raptors play round ball. Yeah, yeah.
Is it a
That's
crime to? He may be guilty of thinking about racketeering, but is that a crime that he can't even think about it now?
and he wasn't even in a pool hall, so how could he be racketeering? And, and it was his break. It was his break, so he couldn't have been racketeering.
Your Honor, our client has a song he wants to sing for you before we get the defense going.
We need to sing the national anthem.
Hey, so speaking of crooks and lawbreakers, the New York City had the mayoral primary voting yesterday,
Yeah, yeah,
and they voted in some socialist that is anti-Semitic.
yeah. And he's a Muslim, isn't he?
I
Isn't
I
that the
think
Muslim
I
that
think I think he is. Yeah.
that what's that Cortez? Who's
What's
that
that?
senator? Who's that senator? Alexa Cortez?
AOC. Yeah, it's easier just to say AOC, right? So
No,
New Yorkers they haven't. Do they not see what's going on in Los Angeles and California? Because it's like whose law is that? Einstein, where you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
they're not gonna listen. If they elect that guy a mayor, okay, do you actually think them Jewish people in New York are gonna be going for that? So he's gonna fuck crucify them
Oh,
people.
sure he is. Absolutely, he is.
Okay, and it's like he don't. Okay, he is no, no.
Well, but that's so he beat that other crook Como. I mean, they had another choice. I mean, I can't believe it came down between the anti-Semitic guy or the grandma killer. I just don't, that's who New Yorkers. Now that's just a Democrat, so I don't know who the Republican is going to be going against them. Maybe they're going to smarten up and they're going to
I'm hoping they will
vote for a
because they can't
Republican.
have that. Look, you think that he's gonna, they're gonna be them protesters against the Jewish people are licking their chops right now.
Yeah. Oh, they
They're
sure
like,
are.
oh man, he gets in there, boy. We are gonna, we're gonna have free reign. We can protest. Ain't nothing gonna happen to us or anything. Yeah, well,
So that's
I'd
what
have the fucking National Guard in there so fast it'd make their heads spin,
I
dude.
just want to say, New
Yeah,
Yorkers, your votes have consequences. You better think this one through.
Dummies.
And
well,
whoever the Republican nomination is going to go to, just vote for him. Because you know what happens when you get this socialist in there? No more federal funding. That's going to stop.
New York's gonna be terrible. Well, that's New York City. They're
Okay.
gonna fucking ruin it.
The immigrants are gonna leave and go someplace else.
That's their plan, bro.
Yeah,
Bro, that's their
that is their
plan.
plan. They are slow. Well, I mean, I think we
Where
caught
did,
them in
you
time.
know, where in the fuck did this guy come from, anyways?
That's the first time I ever heard of this guy. I have no idea who he
I
is.
never heard of this guy. I mean, it's like, who the frick are, who the frick are these guys?
Yeah, so this guy, he's like, no, illegal immigrants have rights, but Jewish people do not. So
Look
they
at,
voted for him.
look at this fricking guy. Yeah.
And here's let's go even deeper stupidity in New York City. Alvin Bragg won the nomination for the DA of New York, the district attorney.
I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's the one that went after Trump, and he said he's gonna get, he got if he gets elected, he's gonna go after Trump because he's went after Trump, and he knows how to go after Trump. New York, the voters in New York City have lost their mind, dude.
Well, well, I don't live in New York City, so
Well, it just shows that New York,
although it does, a lot of things that New York City does affect the whole state.
it does affect the whole state. I put
So I,
I put out a video. Whoever's in charge of their subway system, the MTA, Manhattan Transit Authority, she said the whole state should be responsible for funding the repairs in the subways in New York City. And I laughed and I laughed.
we can't even fix our own, dude.
No, they want all of New York. I mean, that's what New York has, like money sucking veins and pipes going to the rest of the state. And they just pull that money in
Well, they need to stop that.
New York, man. They're crazy.
Well, that's the governor. That's the governor. That's Hochul. Okay.
Oh, she was the worst pick.
I, no, I mean, I don't mind Hochul. She's not that bad of a governor. Okay, but she needs to frickin' stand up and she needs to wake up and smell the coffee. But
Now,
she's good for. I mean, she always, she is good for Western New York because she's from Hamburg. So
yeah,
she is good for Western New York.
I don't believe these people are being voted in fairly anyway. I think in these blue states, there's just rigging going on. If you're a Democrat, you're almost guaranteed a spot.
Well,
And they did that against Trump again when he went against Biden. They used that rigging system and they took away the presidency from being fair, but just goes to show you that good overcomes evil eventually.
they had they had they had Biden and his wife on The View or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and it was like his wife was just she was the only one talking. He was just sitting there like this, like he was fucking like a zombie on fucking so much fucking Thorazine. It was like he was a fucking hello, you're gonna let your wife do all your talking, and he just sat there and didn't say a fucking word.
It's funny that you bring
Completely out of it.
it's funny that you bring that up. That's a good segue because a former aide of Biden, um, she's Neera Tanden served as director of the White House Domestic Party Council. She explained how she had used the autopen to make decisions in the White House because, and the president is supposed to say who does this, but in his last couple of years in office, everybody was just using the autopen to get what they want. and
Well,
she testified in the House Oversight Committee, and they're going after him. I think all those like pardons that were done at the last minute, and all the judges that were appointed last minute because their party lost and they were all scrambling. Just get the auto pen. Yes, okay, everything. Okay, everything. $2 billion for you. You get $2 billion. You're gonna get hired. You're gonna get a brand new car. You're gonna get a new house.
so check this out. I had someone call me, okay, saying that I won the Publishers Clearinghouse
Yeah,
sweepstakes,
yeah.
and and uh, and I thought it was I thought it was a scam in the first place, right? Because publishers, first of all, they don't call you on the phone,
No, Ed
okay?
McMahon shows up at your door, right?
Right, something like that. So I call them back, right, and I get this guy, and he's going on, and he's going on. Well, you got to register, and and once you register, and then and he just kept going on. And we know he knew the information. He knew some of my information. He's a scammer.
Right.
So yeah, and a Mercedes will be delivered to your house, and uh, you'll get the check, and it'll be deposited into your bank account, and you know, uh, and I think he was trying to get at my numbers for my card, for my bank card.
Oh, sure.
So, so now I'm like, and then he's like, well, you get uh, a $5,000 life insurance thing, okay, that you can borrow money off of. So now he's like, but there's a $1,500 registration fee.
And there it is.
So I go, okay, well, he goes, how much can you put down? I go, nothing. I go, I don't have no money right now. I don't, I got about $12 in my bank account right now. Come on, sir, you got to have more. I, I don't. I go, I think this is a freaking scam. So and then he got all defensive. What, you calling me a thief? I go, no, I'm not calling you a thief. I'm calling you a freaking scammer. And I hung up on him.
Yeah.
I, you know, I go, well, because I told him, I go, well, why can't you just take the 50? If I won $55 million, why can't you just take the 1,500 right off the top and give me the check for the rest?
Did
Well,
you
we don't do it. We need the 15. Yeah, you need the $1,500 to scam me. That's why. Oh, are
uh,
you calling me a thief? I go, yeah, I am. I hung up on him.
yeah, I have fun with those guys when they call me. My goal is to make them hang up on me. And
Yeah,
and we're at that age now too. We're getting to it. If there's if there's ever a situation where you're going to be handing over a large sum of money to something that just sounds too good to be true, we have to make a pact to call each other. Hey, Ron, this guy wants $2,000 for this. What does it sound like to you? Hey, Randy, this guy wants $1,500. What do you think about this? I tell my mom that all the time. Do not just hand over or give out bank information, any
I
number
give
of
him
credit
nothing
cards.
out, dude.
You call one of us and talk to us about it before you
And
hand over.
first, listen, if they would take the money right off the top if you won something like that. Okay, they wouldn't even ask you for nothing. You wouldn't need to. Why are they asking you for money to get money?
Because it's a scam.
Right, exactly.
My name is Prince Alibaba. I am from the south of Africa, and I'm here
It's
to
like
make you a
it's like
millionaire.
It's like all this Medicare and Medicaid. They keep calling me about, oh, well, you got the benefits. Well, guess what? You want to know something? I'm going down to Medicaid and I'm going down to Medicare, and I'm going to say, listen, if you got benefits for me, I want, I want, I want the card today. I want this, and I want that, and I want all my information. I'm going to give you my information right now, and and first of all, Medicare and Medicaid do not call you on the phone. They send you letters in the mail.
Ah, well, that's a good advice for everybody out there. He didn't listen to that. Hey, President Trump, he's in the NATO summit today,
Yeah.
so he's got our back. You know, people just love to hate him, but man, I freaking love this guy. He's got
Well,
America's back,
I think he's
and they all
yeah.
want to be like him.
I think he's in the he's in the popularity right now. He's popular right now.
You know, he doesn't have to run
Uh,
for president again either, so he don't give a shit. He's gonna
well, I
he
mean, the
he
only
is
thing that I come about this is I don't think he should have said that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
uh dude, come on, Ron, grow some balls. Don't be intimidated by a man.
Well, no, no.
I
Well,
freaking
because
love that.
first of all, I mean, I understand that they both fucked up the fucking ceasefire agreement, but
Yeah, they both did. But you know what?
then again, if you really think about it, okay, first of all, Israel had a plan going into that
Yep,
war.
yep.
Okay, so when I mean the ceasefire, yeah, could Netanyahu? Maybe it was too late that he couldn't call his planes back.
I'm sorry,
You
Mr.
know,
President. The bombs are on their way.
I mean, you know,
Can't call them back.
what hands are his hands were tied on that.
You know, but they
But
both sides, like you said, both sides fucked it up. So,
both sides struck.
let
But
them get
you know,
that last thing out of their system, and we're good, man.
Iran hit a civilian, and they hit a civilian complex and killed 4 people. Which, yeah, guess what? You fucked up big time. Okay, but you know,
Hey, do you
I
know
would
who?
have probably not have said too much about with Israel because we are on Israel's side. Even though he said that there's going to be nothing. That's it. We're done with them. We're not helping them no more.
Hey, do you know who Bobby Sherman is?
No.
He died. He was a
Who? What?
he, he was a singer. Julie,
Who?
Julie, do you love me? Easy come, easy go. La la la. If I had you,
I don't know.
I recognize who he is. I just don't. I'd have to hear his songs again. But rest in peace, Bobby.
Yeah, rest in peace, because I don't know.
Oh, here's some that I know everybody knows who James Dean is. So he's been dead a long time. Lost his life in a car crash. Some asshole named last name was Bast. He was his roommate in the early days of college, wrote a book, and said that him and James Dean were lovers. There's been absolutely no proof. People have refuted this. They're going to make a movie about it, and they're going to include that. James Dean is not here to defend himself. Everybody has freaking busted that story and said it wasn't true. But these freaking directors and producers are going to include that in the movie. I'm not going to see it. I don't think they
It,
should do that.
no, it's just an attention getter, a money grab. That's all it is.
I think it's going to
It,
backfire. No one's going to go see that
it's
movie.
just, he just wants. It's a money grab, dude.
Right.
He's a, movie star, come on. That's,
Oh, hey, so real fast, man. I don't know if I have time. Yeah. So this producer looked over James Christ and sent me the biggest letter email and said I should have got it and read it for you. But just to give you the general the general idea of it, he said he goes, Randy, he goes, I'll tell you, he goes, this could be a flop or an absolute runaway hit.
yeah,
He goes, I am so excited and happy. I am going to find a home for your for your for your for our um featured script. He said he is happy. He just says he doesn't know, how people, because it's about Jesus kind of, and I changed some parts, so I didn't want to really disrespect Jesus or anything in it. And it's along the lines like where like when Blazing Saddles came out, they had the N word in that show like it was just like breathing air, and
right,
nobody wanted to touch that because of that, but someone took a shot at it, and it paid off. This is the boat that James Christ is in, because Jesus is so respected. People might think that we're like disrespecting him by doing it, but the movie's not about him. It's about his younger brother. So it was really good news. I'll read it to you later. I'll get a copy of what he wrote to me, and I'll bring it on the show tomorrow because I almost wet myself when I read it.
yeah. Well,
Because
also,
since I did the rewrite, dude, it's getting traction. I am out there talking to a bunch of people about it. I work every day to try to make contacts to get somebody to rep it or somebody, and I even got into Angel Studios. I kind of backdoored my way in. That's a good story. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Hey, so
well, what you do,
you know what I want to close out on here? I thought this was a funny article. It was since there's no sports to talk about, but we'll have basketball next week. 7 signs you've raised a spoiled child. So here,
okay,
number one is when you tell them no, they throw a tantrum until they get their way. They're never
okay,
they're never satisfied with what they have. They think the world revolves around them. They demand things ASAP. They're sore losers. They don't give up until they get what they want. They refuse to complete even simple tasks until you beg or bribe them. So basically, they're Democrats.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, they're just Democrats. They're far left. That's what it sounds like to me.
right, yeah, yeah.
Uh, we got a minute. Well, we got a minute before we say goodbye. I just got a word from the producer.
Hi, Kitty G.
So, and you don't have a spoiled kid. I know that because I know
I don't know.
Eli.
Yeah, he is a little spoiled.
No, yeah, but he's not a spoiled brat.
No, I mean he'll kind of help, but he's not.
There's kids that are spoiled, then they're
He's
spoiled
not.
brats.
Uh, he doesn't help as much as he should.
He'll help you
But
when you need it, when you're like 85 years old and he has to take
he
care of you.
will help when he wants.
All right, Ron. Here's
Although
an
he did
here's
choose place some spaghetti the other day.
all right. Well, we'll have to save that story until tomorrow. We got about 20 seconds to say goodbye.
So how was your Taco Tuesday yesterday?
It was awesome. It was awesome. But listen, everybody, I want to thank you guys for watching the RELL. We appreciate it. And remember,
Yes,
we're not doing this to sell things or try to get you to buy things from us. We're just doing it because we enjoy it and we love just talking shit. Me and Ronnie H here.
right.
All
Hey,
right,
Randy.
I am Randy
Hey,
Sal,
I'm Ron Haskell.
and you've been listening to the RELL. Peace out.
All right.